quiet village tucked beneath the ever-whispering trees of Wormwood Forest. There is a legend told only in hushed voices of a melody that haunts the midnight hour. They say it begins with a single note, drifting from the darkness like a tear sliding down the cheek of the world. Piano, playing a tune no one remembers learning, yet everyone feels deep in their bones. No one knows who plays it, or why. But one girl Lyra cannot let the song go unanswered. Drawn into the forest by the aching beauty of the sound, she stumbles into a forgotten world where music is not merely sound, but a binding force, a curse, and perhaps the key to redemption. This is the story of a cursed pianist, a forbidden song, and the love that dared to silence the darkness. This is Midnight Sonata.
Midnight Sonata, a dark romantic tale written in audiobook style. Chapter 1. The music beneath the moon every night. Just as the clock struck midnight, the same melody drifted through the dense pines of Wormwood Forest, a mournful, lilting tune that wound its way into the village like a sigh on the wind. No one knew its source. The elders whispered that it was the forest itself weeping for forgotten things. Others said it was just wind playing tricks, but Lyra knew better. At 17, Lyra had lived her whole life in the shadow of Wormwood. Her mother used to hum that melody in her sleep before she vanished into the forest 10 winters ago. Since then, the song had grown louder, more sorrowful, as if the trees themselves remembered loss. On the eve of the winter solstice, Lyra stood at her window, frost fogging the glass, heart pulsing with questions she had never dared ask aloud. Then came the tune, a piano, soft and slow, as though each key pressed on the edge of despair. It tugged at her something deeper than curiosity, grief, wonder, love, wrapping herself in her mother's old velvet cloak. Lyra stepped out into the snow. Chapter 2. The forest of forgotten chords. The moonlight spilled like silver ink over the path, casting tall, reaching shadows. Branches trembled, not with wind but with the echo of song. Lyra walked deeper than she had ever dared. Past the elder stones, past the hollow tree where owls never nested, into the place where even animals dared not tread. The music grew louder, clearer. A piano, yes, but not ordinary. It was an instrument carved from grief, tuned in agony. It called not to the ears, but to the soul. There, in a clearing bathed in pale moonlight, stood an ancient conservatory, glass-roofed and forgotten by time. Ivy coiled over its stone walls like veins. The great double doors, though weathered by centuries, opened without a sound. Inside, by candlelight and shadow, sat a figure at a grand piano, dark mahogany, etched with symbols not meant for mortal eyes. He was pale as ash, eyes closed, fingers bleeding across the keys. Chapter 3. The Cursed Pianist. He did not look up as she entered. The music held him in thrall. Each note spilled like tears onto the cracked marble floor. Lyra stepped closer, and the moment her foot touched the final stone, he stopped. Silence. The man looked up, and his eyes were the color of stormy seas gray, endless, full of things unsaid. "You can hear it?" he whispered. Lyra nodded, unable to speak. "Then it's begun." He stood, and she saw the chains thin as thread, made of shadow and ember wrapped around his wrists, vanishing into the body of the piano. "My name is Thorn," he said, "and I am its prisoner." Chapter 4. The Deal. By firelight, Thorn told her the story. He had once been the greatest pianist in the realm. But greatness is a hungry god, and Thorn had fed it everything: sleep, joy, love. When at last his fingers failed him, crippled by years of obsession, he cried out to the dark, and the dark answered. A demon offered him eternal perfection. In exchange, Thorn would play every night at midnight. 1 hour. One song. Forever. Then in his notes would live the demon's hunger, feeding on those who heard it. But something had changed. Lyra had come. "I don't know why you can hear me," Thorn said. "But when you entered, the pain stopped. For a moment, I felt..." Free. Chapter 5. The Demon's Encore. The next night, Lyra returned, and the next. With each visit, the melody softened. Thorn's chains faded like mist under morning sun. They spoke of music, of lost family, of dreams stitched with sorrow and wonder. But darkness does not surrender its toys easily. On the 7th night, as Thorn touched the keys, a shadow emerged from the corner of the room. A figure with burning eyes, a voice like breaking bones. "You've broken the contract," it growled. "The girl must die or the song must continue." Lyra stepped forward. "No," the demon laughed. "You love him. Sweet, tender human love. That's what weakens the chains. Love is a song I never learned to play." Chapter 6. The final note, the demon surged toward her, fangs like daggers. But Thorn struck the keys, a new song, not one of sorrow, but defiance. The piano flared with light. Lyra joined him, her voice rising with the music. A duet piano and soul, the chain shattered. The demon screamed, unraveling into smoke, then silence. Thorn fell to his knees, free at last. Outside, the forest sighed as if waking from a nightmare. Chapter 7. A new song weeks passed. The melody never returned to the village. The woods grew quiet, and the snow, when it fell, felt warmer somehow. Lyra and Thorn remained in the conservatory, now alive with sound not of sorrow, but creation, a new composition, a song without curse, without shadow. Each night they played for no one and everyone, for the wind, the stars, and for love, which had turned a demon's curse into a midnight sonata worth remembering.
Epilogue. Echoes of midnight in the quiet seasons that followed, the villagers often spoke of the stillness that fell over Wormwood. Children no longer had nightmares, elders no longer heard their lost loves in the wind. The forest, once a shadowed spectre on the edge of their world, became a place of peace. No one dared enter the deep heart of it, but sometimes, on clear nights, travellers passing the old forest path swore they heard something strange, not haunting, not sorrowful, beautiful. A piano, soft and distant, weaving a song of longing and home. And if they listened closely, they would hear a voice not singing, exactly, but humming, a harmony threaded with laughter and light. Lyra and Thorn never returned to the village. Their names slowly passed into legend, folded into bedtime tales and poems whispered beside hearths. Some said the girl became a forest spirit. Others claimed she had broken the devil's music with a kiss. But deep in Wormwood, the truth remained. Each midnight, Thorn and Lyra still played, not bound, not cursed, but chosen. They composed together under moonlight, spinning lullabies from love and freedom, composing what some began to call the second sonata promise, in every note, that even in the darkest woods, light may find a way, one where the final key no longer meant silence, but beginning,